All right, good morning, everyone. Let's talk about methylated phenyltryptamines. So, the one in particular I'm referring to is known as MOXIE, as the chemical name is 5-MeO-MIPT for the position of the methoxy, and then methyl isopropyl phenyltryptamine. So let's go ahead and draw the chemical structure here. I did have to take notes. I did not do this from memory. I've only ever required it one time in my life and did not do it myself, but then I heard stories about what happened, and it kind of drove understanding of a bunch of lore, which is cool and interesting, but also kind of scary, but worth discussing. So here it is. So let's see, then this is the and then we got this here, the amine, and then methyl, and then the isopropyl here like that. So, all right, so there's the chemical structure. So yeah, I acquired it in 2011 from the Silk Road. It's kind of tricky to set up the infrastructure to get all something from the Silk Road. You have to set up like encryption, a Bitcoin wallet, a bunch of other random stuff. Being young and experimental is easy, but then no one else would really want to do it. So it's like, oh yeah, sure, I can get something for you. I had my friend write down the chemical name because I was like, I've never heard of this stuff. I'm not just going to try any old thing. But basically, this particular chemical has a really interesting binding to a synapse, and causes some really interesting effects. And so when this goes into, based on what happened here, I'll actually probably say what happened. Apparently, he took it wanting to know what it does, and then basically got stuck in his room for about a month or so until he became so thirsty he thought he was going to die. Then he kind of snapped out of it because he lost track of time. Apparently, this drug causes profound nerve insensitivity, potentially changes in vision, or at least some of the others in the methylated phenyltryptamine group. And but it also gives some interesting abilities such as holding breath, freakish strength, and loss of perception of time. And it's like, I think that has something to do because this particular amine has little grabber arms on it like this. It has these three little nubs for the hydrogen, and this isopropyl also has those nubs. And so when it goes into the socket of a protein like this, it tends to get stuck. And apparently there's only a couple synapses in the body that are receptive to methylated phenyltryptamines, and those correspond to whatever synapses go off when you say nothing matters but this. And so there might be a couple things where you might want to use that for, but if nothing matters but try to wait for its effects, he basically sat there wondering what to do for an extremely long period of time. But how do you get such a molecule off out of one of these detenting scenarios? And so apparently if he got so thirsty, apparently it was enough to contract the edges of the synapse protein enough to pop it back out. Otherwise, you would have to chelate it with silver or potentially induce fever. I think using I think it's called PMA, but you can't do that unless you have an ice bath. But that would be the reverse process, where you get these to go out the other direction until it pops out. But yeah, really potentially dangerous stuff if used the wrong way. Anyways, but this also goes into intent-driven mechanics. So what if you were to say nothing matters but the mission, and what if the mission was, instead of just waiting for its effects? It might give you some really curious drive to do whatever it is. And so that explains a whole bunch of different parts of lore, including vampires. I'll say mechanics. So and so there's guys vampires, lichens. So these are all kind of zombies. It's like mermaids. Apparently also allows you to hold your breath for an extremely long period of time because something kicks your metabolism into stasis of some sort. It's kind of like called like aspic with spider. In fact, I think that these chemicals might have been first harvested from spiders, which are known to wait in a predatory state for extremely long periods of time, just waiting for action. And so for those spiders just laying in wait, it's like, oh yeah, it's like there are a lot of scenarios might require a similar such synaptic profile going off, which is probably going to be vampire, lichen, zombie, mermaid, pirate at sea, lacking infrastructure, but then also Genma from Onimusha, which I think were just countrymen defending their homeland, but then had to survive a lack of infrastructure. In fact, it might be used by people who are needing to survive a lack of infrastructure just to defend their property. But then it's like, what other things might need this for profession? It might also explain Navy SEALs. It's like, do they have to hold their breath and be super strong and nothing matters to them about the mission? It's like, that sounds like maybe that's what they're doing too. Who knows? This is just a speculation. I haven't actually talked to any about that. But yeah, so supposing you were suffering a profound nerve insensitivity, you might be able to fire off all your muscles at once basically not knowing how to regulate it because you can't tell your body's feedback system when to shut off the muscles, and especially when nothing matters. But whatever the task is at hand, whatever you programmed yourself into doing, maybe that's how it works. But apparently you only need a few molecules of this stuff to set those synapses off. Like apparently you only need to smell the bag. So apparently they feel really good because nothing matters, right? That's a good feeling to have that release. But then in that case, if nothing matters, then you can basically be stuck waiting. If you program it, nothing matters but what you've programmed. And so intentional mechanics come into play. Anyways, but yeah, this also explains orcs. Because again, they cut down all the trees and burn all the land. There's no way they have infrastructure. It's like, how do they do it? And it's like, this is why mithril is so potent against orcs, is because it was probably silver-plated aluminum. And so that demyops them, restores their strength back to normal. And then maybe they'll even starve to death after that. And so it's like, maybe that's what made mithril so such a powerful thing. So why do they eat the bodies of the dead? It's probably just to get on the quantum entangled ketamine network of the enemy, because that's probably what they're doing it for, because they don't need food. And so that's the other thing, that when you do methylated phenyltryptamines, apparently you do not suffer hunger in any way, nor thirst for that matter, until of course you become so desperately dehydrated that the molecules no longer work anymore. Anyways, it's like, yeah, this is more speculations. This is also known as moxie or foxy-moxy. There are a couple others in the chemical class. These are all research chemicals. I've not done them myself, but it's like apparently there are a lot of stories about them. But be careful. It's like, this is apparently it feels a lot like Coke, but then then you feel nothing, which is a bad sign. It might also affect your vision, because nothing matters in your vision. What you've programmed, and so if you program nothing, you basically can go blind, I've heard. And so hopefully you have some silver handy, but who knows? These are all stories. So anyways, this is Toad Martin coming to you live. I'll talk to you guys later.